everybody, welcome to episode 60 of the Toys for Games cast. We are recording this little ditty on Thursday, February 25th, 2016. I am one of your hosts, the still non-sick co-host, Josh Brown. I am joined by the almost fully recovered, a little bit older, a lot more wiser, Jason Greer.
Hello.
How you feeling?
Yeah, I don't really want to say, fully better yet. We're hoping to God, but it's interesting.
You're inching your way.
Yeah, so I apologize in advance, everybody, but I've been on vocal rest since like 5 o'clock, so I think I should be okay. The problem is I cough the most when I get like excited or laugh, and good Lord knows that's going to happen in this podcast.
So no jokes, no excitement.
Yeah, so yeah, thankfully I'm like with the wireless headset and the microphones, I can quickly turn my back.
Right.
So I'll try and heave it through there. The cough is a mixture between sounding like I'm throwing up and I have smoker's cough. So it's an interesting mix right now.
Yeah. The problem with all of this, I mean, I know you've been on vocal rest for a few hours now. However, we just spent about a half hour talking about time travel before the show. So
it's a nice warm up.
I mean, see, there it goes. It's done. I mean, nice warm up, maybe, or we just exhausted a good half hour that you would have had towards the end of the show. So
that's very true.
Either way, it's going to be an interesting episode. I'm excited. I'm glad to have you back. My better half, Valerie, stood in for you last week. We had a fun show. It was a fun late night Friday night podcast, as they always are, and we made the most lemonade out of the lemons we had as we possibly could. But it was fun nonetheless.
Yeah, I've listened to probably like a half an hour of it so far. I've been binge watching Full House and House of Cards in the past week, so I haven't had much time to do anything else.
Sure.
But Shopkins Inquirer's tweet about the soda fill or whatever it was, I feel like I know everything about it now. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all you need to know about that episode. Is if you fill up your Slurpee cup incorrectly, we don't have time for you. Get out.
It felt odd though, because I saw a Shopkins Inquirer joke and I didn't get it, and I'm like, this is a weird position to be in.
Imagine all those people that actually follow them for what they think is going to be actual legitimate tweets about Shopkins.
That's what it felt like.
All these random inside jokes that they have no clue about.
Like, I felt like that awkward guy at the party because I was laughing, and I'm like, I don't get why we're laughing, but I find it funny, I guess.
Just slowly sipping at your cup, just laughing, trying to mingle in. Oh boy. We haven't even talked to you since your birthday. Like the last time.
Oh yeah, that's true, man.
Was before your birthday. Did you have a good birthday celebration?
Yeah, it was solid. Again, that was when all the sickness started.
Mm-hmm.
So it was solid there. We're finishing off the birthday celebration actually tomorrow night, I think.
Whoa.
By going to that kid's place, because we didn't actually go to the kid's place because of all the sickness. So
went to birthday month.
Well, it's the Greer way of doing things. But it's had a good old quality lunch at the Golden Corral, you know? Mm-hmm. Which my mom was like, there's no way it's going to be busy on Valentine's Day. Joke's on her. That place is always busy, especially ours. So went there, then hung out at my sister's house with all the crazy sick kids for a little bit, and then as any 26-year-old male does, went to Toys R Us and decided to treat myself. And bought the Ghostbusters Lego pack, so the actual the actual one car, and got that. Then went to Five Guys. Learned a physics lesson when I was at Five Guys.
Okay.
That when you finish your burger first and you're waiting on your best friend to finish theirs, when you put your vinegar cup into your paper bag and it sits there for 10-15 minutes, it soaks out the bottom of the bag. So when you pick up the bag, all the contents in that will now go on top of your pants.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we learned that lesson.
Question.
Yes.
Vinegar cup.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Dipping fries, in vinegar. Did I say vinegar?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, vinegar.
At Five Guys?
Yes.
This is a thing?
Yeah, they have those little... they have the cups for the ketchup,
Yeah.
So you just have vinegar there and, put the vinegar in the cup.
You dip your fries in vinegar, huh?
Yeah, man.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's pretty solid. You gotta try it at least once.
I might have to. I'm not a big vinegar fan. Although now that I think about it, fish and chips and vinegar go well together, and I guess it's pretty much the same principle.
Same concept. I'm not like I get it there, and like I enjoy. It's one of those things where I enjoy like 2 or 3 of them that way, and then the rest I put them in ketchup.
Okay.
But it's kind of one of those, since it's there, I kind of have to use it.
Okay.
But like like fair fries, the awful ones, like the heart attack ones. I drench those suckers in vinegar.
Do they counteract like the fattiness grease of the fries? Like what's the driving force behind that?
Not a clue.
I feel like our UK listeners need to write in and let us know what's going on, because I feel like they probably have a better grasp on this than we do.
Very true.
We just do it because we try to fit in with the rest of the world.
But vinegar on French fries seems like an American thing.
I don't know about that, man.
Who knows?
There just isn't enough fat and sugar in vinegar for it to be an American thing.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we went there and then came back, and he was like, "Yo, I want to put that Lego set together." So he came back and we're putting that together, and watched Napoleon Dynamite for the first time in like 7 years probably, and laughed my head off and remembered all the old jokes I used to quote all the time in high school.
How does it hold up?
Phenomenally.
Okay.
I don't know if it holds up great like to people who haven't seen it, but again, it was great for me to like, since I hadn't watched it in such a long time.
Right.
It came up in conversation at work the other day, and I was like, I should watch that. But it's that movie you have to watch with friends. You can't just watch it yourself. And the guy, one of my good friends that came and watched it, he was like obsessed with it also, and he said he actually just watched it a couple weeks ago. And I'm like, well, guess what? We're watching it again. Sitting there and like, I completely forgot about the "Your mom goes to college" line. Which I laughed at so much, and quoted it all the time, and the you're drinking 2% milk because you think you're fat because you're not. Love that pickup line. That's a quality one.
Has that ever worked for you?
Maybe.
Ooh.
No, truth be told, I used to be a jerk in middle school. And we're like, hey, let's use all these funny pickup lines on girls and see what would happen.
Right, because they'll love it.
Yeah, and so we did on like AIM to see how many people could get to block us. Because you're middle school guys. What do you do?
Right.
But then I found there's this one girl who liked me for no joke, like 10 years, just constantly. And so like the one day, I was sitting there talking to AIM because, again, I'm a jerk back in middle school, which I'm not this way anymore. But talking to her, blah, 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 and we're going back and forth. I'm like, all right, you know what? There's something I really need to ask you. And she goes, okay. And I'm like, I've been wanting to ask you this for a long time. She goes, what? I was like, I don't know if I can ask that. She's like, no, seriously. I'm like, I don't know. I don't want you to be mad, if you're going to say no. She's like, no, seriously, ask me. Do you like butter on your corn, or are you like a no butter person? And she did not talk to me for a while. But solve that problem,
right?
Yeah, it's a logical question.
You have to get those questions out of the way before any good relationship starts.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to become a deep friend with you unless I know the answer to that question.
Right. And if anybody out there listening that's curious what the Jason Greer standard is for answering this question correctly, what's the correct answer?
Oh, it's yes. You better like butter on your corn.
Absolutely. Salt and pepper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Good.
You try to take the nutrition out of that sucker. But
how do you feel about cutting off the kernels with a knife before eating it?
My dad does that, but he has to because of his teeth situation. But
sure. I mean, I understand if it's necessary, but if you're doing it just because you don't want to eat corn off the cob because you don't want to feel like an animal, why are you even eating corn on the cob?
Right.
Just go buy a can of corn.
Go get steamed corn in a bag at Target, which is phenomenal. Have you had that at all?
Steamed corn from Target?
Yeah, they have like a bag for like $1.
We have about 8,000 grocery stores in this town, so I tend not to do much grocery shopping at Target.
That's fair.
Yeah. Never really.
I do it at Target a lot because there's like coupons and crazy stuff there.
Right.
So as a bachelor, I got to get my cheap food.
Yeah. I think grocery shopping at Target is more of an afterthought for me. Like if I'm at Target, I'm like, oh, I need this for the house, and I'll grab it.
Fair.
But I'm never I'm going to go to Target and grab some groceries and check to see what supply figures are out.
That's fair.
So, fun fact.
Yes.
I've been to the town that Napoleon Dynamite was shot in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you go into the high school?
I did not. No, just drove through. It was a very quick trip. But it's it's Idaho.
Yeah.
Yeah, through and through, man.
again, my dad does not use technology, but he legit was trying to put together a family trip for us to go out there because he's like obsessed with it and was like on like the website and stuff like that. So somebody from like the company I work for now actually went out there and because again he was obsessed with it, and so they took a family trip out to Idaho to go find the filming spots for Napoleon Dynamite and like went to the high school and like just I guess it was the middle of summer because nobody was around and like knocked and they're probably just used to it, you know?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know it's closed." She's like, "No, you can go in and check it out. Just lock up, like you can just come back out this when you're done." So like as any security would be in a high school,
right?
They like went around and looked at the auditorium and stuff without anybody following them. They just went around and just left.
It's pretty much like the only reason people go to that little town now. Ever since that movie came out. Yeah. Also, when I saw the movie when it first came out in theaters with a couple friends.
Wow.
Yeah. I knew nothing about it. One of my friends was like deep into like indie films. Like he was that guy.
Sure.
So he was like, "You guys need to go with me to go watch this movie." And I'm like, "Oh, I've never heard of it. I don't even know what this is, but sure, why not? Let's go." So when we got there was like one other couple in the theater that was there to watch it, and they were so angry that they got up and left about a half hour into it because I don't think they really knew what they were getting into either, because there wasn't a lot of hype and marketing and advertisement behind this film.
No whatsoever.
So they like walked in, they thought they were just going to go watch a film together and enjoy like a little date night, and they were so mad. They're like, "This is the stupidest thing we've ever seen." Like they were just like, they were loud and obnoxious because they were so mad that they spent their money to go see that. Like it was the theater's fault or it was our fault. But like they stormed out and it was like, wow, like you guys really don't get comedy. Like that's so sad that you live your life like that. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it was like one of those things. It's like you just sit there and you just watch it, and it's so much more funny when you're with friends that have like sense of humor that you do. So
100%. Like, because I was telling somebody the other day, when I watched it the first time, I watched it by myself. Like I just rented it, watched it, and like an hour and a half went by, and I'm like, what the fudge did I just watch? Like I was doing other stuff, and I'm like, I don't really get it whatsoever. And I went to like a party or whatever, hang out, and people were like, let's watch it. And so I was like, all right, I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm like, all right, let's watch it again. And like people started laughing, and then I just started laughing with them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this movie is like freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
So I just pulled up now, budget $400,000 is all the budget was. And then box office $46.1 million.
Yeah. It caught on like wildfire. Like once people started finding out about it.
Because I tell people all the time, like that dance they had, at the end, and just his suit he had. Like I remember all the time, like everybody tried to find that suit. Like everybody tried to, and it was just impossible. And the movie's so funny.
the scene on the farm with the eggs and the sandwiches and like that still gets me, like just thinking about it now like makes me nauseous. But it's one thing like I can never forget about when it comes to that movie. It's just like that's ingrained into my soul in the most horrific way possible.
Think people look poorly upon me because they're going to steal at night? Forget about it.
Well, I'm glad that your birthday month started off
my throat.
Started off solid and is going to finish off solid. Hopefully, unfortunately, there was a pretty lengthy sickness in the middle of the celebrations, but
yeah, it's been awful.
So be it. Nice to have you back.
Thanks, man. Glad to be here.
This weekend, this past weekend, I should say, I went to the Wizard World Comic-Con in Portland, which was a lot of fun. I've been to Comic-Cons before in Portland, but not like the Wizard World one. I've been to the Rose City Comic-Con,
sure,
which is differently ran. It's in the same building, same type of thing. But going into like the Wizard World Comic-Con, holy cow, I was not expecting how big it was and how densely populated it was. Like, it's shoulder to shoulder. You have to squeeze by people to go up and down the rows. It was intense. There were so many people there. So many. And, of course, everybody's in cosplay, which is fantastic.
Of course.
Saw one radar technician cosplay, which was fantastic. But a lot of solid outfits. Really was digging them. But the biggest news is I got to hang out with Evelos and Gone to Chris.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that was so cool. They had them on opposite ends of the show floor. And so I immediately went to Evelos first because he was on the map. So I found him on the map and I went to his booth.
He's on the map.
Yeah. I was like, boom, there's Evelos. That's the man. So went to go see his booth and hang out with him. And I was like, so where's Gone to Chris? He's like, she is all the way on the other end, down that aisle. I'm like, man, are they keeping the amiibo artists separate, or what's going on here? Are we trying to, protect assets? Regardless, I finally made my way down to her booth and surprised her. The funny thing was, I was just standing there. It was me, Valerie, and my daughter Kylie. And we were standing there looking at her booth. She had all of her customs out, and she was talking to some people that were there checking out her merch. And it was her and her boyfriend, Jay, or Jason number 3, as she likes to call him. I was like, does he know that you call him Jason number 3? Because there might be some questions with that.
Should get used to it.
I mean, you could probably move him up to Jason number 2 without much fuss. I think the community would probably be okay with that, but super nice guy. But anyway, so they're there and they're talking to some people that were looking at some of their customs, and this one guy was sitting there looking at one of her Shadow Mewtwo's, and he was like, do you know if the Japanese amiibo actually work with like the Wii U's for the States, like North American? And both her and Jay were like, yeah, don't really know, And I just looked over at him. I'm like, yeah, they totally work. He was like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, they're not region locked, not region specific. Any amiibo will work on any Wii U or supported 3DS device in the entire world. You're good to go. He's like, awesome. And I think he ended up buying that one. And like, Gone to Chris looked over and she was like, oh, thank you. I was like, yeah, it's kind of my jam. It's what I do.
That's what I do.
Talk about amiibo and toys to life. Josh, Toys for Games. She was like, oh my god, I was wondering why you're looking at me so weird. I was like, well, no, I'm not creeping. I'm legitimately here to say hi.
Who's that weirdo?
Silly me, I didn't wear my Toys for Games shirt. I wore that Sunday. If I'd been wearing it Saturday, it would have been completely obvious. But I was able to slide my way in there and help her get a sale by confirming that they're not region locked. But yeah, I was like, it was cool to surprise her like that. It was a lot of fun. She wished you good health. She was super upset that you were not going to make it out to New York for the meetup and the opening of the Nintendo World Store because you were so sick. She was bummed, needless to say, and she hoped that you felt better. So she wanted me to pass that on to you, of course.
Appreciate it.
Now you are feeling better, but yeah, it was really cool. Then I saw both of them again on Sunday, which was a lot of fun. I ended up picking up a custom Mickey Disney Infinity figure that's turned into Oswald.
Nice.
And I picked up a custom Minnie Disney Infinity figure who's turned into Queen Minnie, and she is utilizing the Peach amiibo dress in order to make her look even more fancy. So very cool. I picked both of those up and a Comic-Con exclusive Shadow Mewtwo.
Sick.
Yeah, super awesome. I got a case for my Mewtwo, but I don't have cases for the Mickey and Minnie, and I don't really know what to do because these Hori cases are built just for amiibo,
right? For
the amiibo stands. So I'm thinking the snow globes.
Snow globes are the best, man.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards that. I don't really know what else to do for Disney Infinity figures.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I mean, there's like the special ones that like Stitch and.
Well, they have standard edition of those.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, they're kind of hard to find now because they're discontinued.
Maybe I'll go snow globes.
Can never go wrong with snow globes.
Yeah, might have to.
I saw a picture of Gone to Chris today. She posted wearing a Toys for Games pin though.
Oh yeah, no, I was passing out the merch, of course, man.
Making it rain pins.
That's right. So that was a lot of fun. Then I went back to Evelos's booth And I was like, at first I was like, I have this Ruby Pikachu that's an Evolos custom. I really want something from Gondicris. And I ended up, getting those 3 from her. And over at Evolos' booth, I had noticed that cosmic 8-bit Mario figure that he had. Sure. Like the blue with the stars and everything. And I was like, man, I really want that one. So I went back over to his booth, and he was talking to some people that were checking out his stuff, and they were talking about his custom Gandorf that he had, and they were just chit-chatting, and he was explaining his process and everything like that. And then they put that one down, and they ended up buying the Cosmic Mario right in front of me. I'm like, no, that's what I came back to buy. So he was like super bummed, because, I totally would have bought it from him. But I was like, you know what? I am glad that you sold it to somebody else who's appreciating your work, another fan. Like, I could get something from you by asking you personally, I could have you make something cool for me. Like, these people are jazzed to see you at this Comic-Con, and they want to take home something that's exclusive by Evolos. I am glad that they bought it and not me. So that's that.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. But it was fun, man. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of fun. I actually forgot you were going. Like, I was forgetting everything that weekend. But
you were out. That entire week was very weird because we usually text quite often throughout the day. And there were a couple days where I would send you a text and I wouldn't get a response back until like the next day. And I'm like, man, he is out. He's gone.
It was bad. Thursday, what day it was when I took off work, which I'm typically like I fall in the middle. I'm a wuss when I get a cold. Like I go back, like I just don't want to do anything. Like it's hard for me to fight through it all. But also go to work. But I'm just like that's what kicks me down. I'm not like Chipper Jason normally.
Right.
But man, I woke up that morning and just like it was like that pain where like you can't look into the lights because it hurt, So like I literally crawled from my bed out to the sofa with like all the lights off and just like laid there and just like dead. Oh.
That's the worst feeling. Like,
oh, man.
You have to get up just because like your body needs to move a little bit, but it's just like I would rather just lay here and just absorb back into the earth if I could.
Right. But yeah, man, I'm glad you had a good time though.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Was invited to go out to New York City for the meetup. And then of course I know you were bummed that you didn't get a chance to head out there, but Ken and the rest of the guys that made it out, they seemed to have a lot of fun. They got to meet up and harass Jason number 2. So,
picture in the Facebook group is my favorite picture of him.
Yeah, so good.
I'm really hoping like Ken took that without even explaining who he was. Like I don't know if that's the case, but it's kind of like the storyline I kind of want to stick in my mind because I think it's funny if Ken just randomly took this creepy picture of Jason. But
and he would love every second of it. He's like, look at all my fans. They're like, no, we're just here to harass you because you're Jason number 2. So I hope they called him Jason number 2.
I hope so too.
We need to get the scoop on that.
Do you remember? Did you see Atari Alex's tweet? I completely forgot about
it. Which one?
About what Jason number 2 said in episode like 3 or 4, whatever time he came.
Oh yeah, when he conceded to being the second best Jason.
Yeah, I mean that's written down.
Yeah.
Well, not really written down, but spoken word. So
yeah, no, I tweeted back that I need that tweet framed in some way, shape, or form.
Yep.
Yeah.
Game over.
Yeah. So fantastic. Glad everybody had fun out there with that. Speaking of Atari Alex, we have an email that we've been putting off for weeks. So by the end of the show, we need to actually get to it. I actually pulled it. I remembered to find it and put it in our emails. So we'll get to that later on.
I was curious if that was going to turn into like our Jimmy Kimmel, Matt Damon running gag.
Yeah, I don't. Probably. I mean, he kind of sponsors the collector's edition, so
we have to kind of be nice.
Do we? I mean, if it was the collector's edition podcast, where he was actually sponsoring us, then maybe we would have to answer the question. But I don't know what the guidelines are for this. We haven't really treaded into this territory with the show yet, so we're feeling it out. We're testing the temperature of the water. We'll see what happens. But it's ready to go later on in the show when we get to the emails.
Sweet.
One last announcement before we actually start this show that we call Toys for Games Cast. The other night, got some super exciting news. It's something that we've been talking behind the scenes about for a while, that we've been planning, that we have been just basically waiting for confirmation before we could talk about it, because we didn't want to get too excited and get people too excited and then it not happen for whatever reason. But we got the email, the official confirmation email from the people that run PAX East, that Toys for Games is going to be hosting an official panel at PAX East.
Super pumped.
How crazy is that?
That's nuts.
So here's one thing I didn't tell you.
What's that?
That
we're in a Cuttlefish theater? Because I'm excited about that part of it.
We'll go over the details in a second, but I actually got 2 emails that night.
Ooh.
I had accidentally submitted the panel twice, because the first time I wasn't really sure if it went through.
Sure.
But I did it under 2 different email addresses. So the first email I got was actually a denial email.
Ooh.
Saying, sorry, we just don't have room for your panel, yada, yada, yada. And I was just like, I wish you could have seen the expression on my face.
Oh my God,
of just
man.
like devastation. But I knew there was a second email behind it from the same people. So I'm like, would they really send this twice? Like, are they going to break my heart twice? Like, did they like just hit send multiple times? Because at that point, I didn't really realize I had submitted it twice under 2 different emails. So I thought it was just a double rejection letter. So then I opened the second one, and of course it was yeah, congratulations, you have a panel, here's all the information. I'm like, why did I get the denial letter first? And then I had to go back and dig through it, and I noticed that one was sent to one email, one was sent to another email. But the email that actually got the confirmation was also the email that I had used to get approved for the media badge in the first place.
Oh, okay.
So I think that they probably understood that I submitted it twice under 2 different emails, and they had to do their just do and deny a second exact panel of the same thing, because they all said they both said the exact same thing.
That's what I was going to ask you. Did they say the same thing, or were they actually different?
No, they were nothing different. It was like word for word, because I had it all typed out, and then I just copied and pasted it when I filled out the submission form. So they both like were submitted the exact same way and everything like that. Regardless, the confirmation email, I did further confirm through them that was the actual right one, and that they didn't like confirm it and then take it away, because that was my second thought was, oh crap, they gave it to us and they're like, second thought, no.
Whoops.
Yeah, that would have been bad. So PAX East, we're having a panel.
That's legit.
Absolutely insane, my friend.
Too legit to quit.
Too legit. It is called, I'm going to try to pull up the official information here. The name of the panel is called How Toys to Life Became Mainstream in 2015.
That's so legit.
Right.
That's so professional.
I had to make it look official, make it sound official. I know once we get into and start doing the panel, we're going right into the side of a mountain. Immediately. There will be no history. There will be nothing learned from it. It's going to be nothing but fun and chaos, and I can't wait. But we had to trick them. We had to make them think that we were going to come prepared and professional. It's happening April 24th, which is the Sunday. So towards the end of the show, at 1:30 p.m. And like you said, the Cuttlefish Theater.
Not cuddle, but cuttle.
Cuttlefish, which is quite a remarkable animal, if you ask me.
It is.
If you've ever seen any documentary on wildlife, you need to check out something regarding the cuttlefish, because those little creatures are something else, I tell you what. But I'm excited. That's a cool little theater. It's a nice venue for us. It's a Sunday afternoon, so it's not going to be like in the middle of the entire chaos of PAX East. And we're going to have a lot of fun. But it's not just me, and it's not just you. Like, if it was just us two, great. We can knock it out of the park, right?
Have fun, yeah.
But we had to step it up a little bit. So the first person that we invited on to help us out, and make us kind of ground us in our attempt to be professional, is the only person that I could think of that would keep us somewhat professional and on track. And that's, of course, our good friend Matt from Skylanders character list. So he's going to be a part of the panel with us because he's been tracking the history of Toys to Life since day one, pretty much, you know.
True story.
And he's had to adjust as a Skylanders master and master of knowledge, ambassador, if you will. Skylanders has definitely had to adjust the most in 2015 because for a while they were top dogs. And then, you know, you have Disney Infinity coming out with Star Wars. You have Amiibo doing Amiibo things. You have Lego Dimensions coming out of nowhere. And Skylanders is all of a sudden like, whoa. What's going on? So I'm very interested to see what he brings to the panel as a Skylanders fan and ambassador of the franchise to kind of talk about how Skylanders wasn't really ever mainstream up until this boom of the genre in 2015 kind of pushed all of them into mainstream. So that's going to be fun. He's going to be the Rock of the panel. He's going to cement us down. We're just going to be papers flying around. There's going to be a giant fan in there blowing us, and we're just going to go all over the place. And then he's going to be the paperweight that comes in and just smacks us down and keeps us held down to the desk. Yeah. The biggest reason we are going to be completely off track and out of control, and there's a part of me that thinks, nah, he'll have that light switch and he'll be able to turn it off. But then I'm thinking, this is a public event. It's going to be the end of the show. He's probably going to be a little bit tired because he has other panels going on. And he's just going to be super excited to be talking about something that he doesn't normally get to talk about. And he's going to be feeding off the energy of the crowd. And as much as I would like to think that that light switch is going to be active, I think the wires are going to be cut before we even start that thing. Like, there is no turning him off. Greg Miller, who's been on this podcast 3 times now, from Kinda Funny, he is going to be on the panel with us. He forced his way onto the panel. He butted in, you know, he was asking me what I was doing one day, and I was like, hey, I'm just submitting information to try to get this panel going for PAX East because we really want to talk about Toys to Life and whatever. And he, I don't want to say bullied, but he pretty much bullied his way onto the panel. I'm like, look, Greg, like, you don't have to do this, you know, like, we got it. We could cover this. And he's like, you know, I have to talk about Lego Dimensions. I absolutely have to. I am the Toys for Games ambassador of the year because of my love for Lego Dimensions. I have to be at that panel. I have to be on that panel. I have to be a part of what you guys are doing. And I'm like, you know, look, who am I to tell you no, Greg? Who am I? That's not my decision to make, you know? So Greg Miller, he's going to be on our podcast. Not our podcast, on our panel.
It's going to be nuts.
I have no idea what to expect at all. I have tentatively started putting together a basic outline of kind of how I think the panel's going to go. I'm going to send it to you guys. You guys are going to have input. You know, you'll be able to change things around, add things, delete things, whatever. It'll be a Google Doc going between all of us. I don't think it's going to matter.
That's the thing I keep thinking of. Like, we can, like, I don't know if we should bother even sending Greg, like, what we're expecting. Just Greg to show up.
Just be Greg Miller.
Just be you.
Just come and be Greg Miller. That's all we need.
It's going to be so funny.
It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. The crowd that he's going to bring in, because there's going to be people that are coming just to see Greg Miller, and I'm totally okay with that. But that is an audience that we could reach out to, that he does whenever he talks about Lego Dimensions. But we could reach that audience even more so. So I'm excited because, I mean, when he went to the PlayStation experience at the end of last year, you know, he actually had to have, they provided security for him.
Right.
So people wouldn't, like, completely mob him as he's walking around, like, the expo. I don't think it's going to be that intense, but
I hope it is.
I hope it is too.
I would dress up as security for him if he wants me to.
Well, we're trying to get Ken to come, so I think Ken might be the perfect security for us and the panel.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that'll be practice for us too for E3 with Jason, that we can just mock security too for him. That's another thing we should just jokingly be security for him, not even tell him.
Just walk.
This is me. Stand back. Watch out for his ego. It might pop.
One in front of him, one behind him. We have to wear sunglasses and suits and just constantly just keep shoving people out of the way. He wouldn't even know what to do with himself. So PAX East, Boston, April 24th. Toys for Games, Infinity Inquirer, Skylanders character list. Kind of funny. We're doing a panel about Toys to Life. How crazy is that? Cuttlefish Theater. Man, oh man.
Who would have thunk it?
It was a dream of ours that we had talked about for a while, and then the fact that it's happening, like, it started to set in, but it's still super surreal to me.
Right.
When I was talking to Matt about it, he was like, the crazy thing is, we're all meeting for the first time there at PAX East. And then we have to go up and do a panel together.
That's true. Yeah, we've never met Matt.
No.
So.
Right. He was like, he's going to be able to rein it. He said that he'll be able to rein it in until the day of the panel. So he said once Sunday comes, like, all bets are off. Like, he's going to lose it. So who knows, man?
Can we please talk about how you told me about this? So, first of all, why is PAX East approving stuff at like 11 o'clock Eastern time, PM, 8 o'clock your time?
That's a good question. I have an answer.
So you withheld information from me?
Well, I did think it was pertinent at the time. Also, I knew that we'd be talking about this on the podcast. They're based in Seattle.
Right.
So they're up working.
Well, still,
thing.
8 o'clock at night, still. It's cray.
Yeah.
But they, so I go to bed because I'm sick, trying to feel better. And I wake up in the morning, and because you tagged on Infinity Inquirer versus Jason Inquirer, which is fine until I understand why you did, because it's Infinity Inquirer being on the panel.
Right.
And so I wake up, and I just have you sent it to my personal email, not my work email. Mm-hmm. So I didn't see that part of it all. I just saw like 15 notifications of Infinity Inquirer. I'm like, what the fudge is going on? And so I'm waking up in a tizzy, thinking, what could possibly have leaked?
Because that's the only thing that would make that many notifications come in the middle of the night.
Right. And I'm like, what else is there to leak? I'm like, what the crap is going on? So I'm going through and like, congratulations. I'm like, what happened? I'm like scrolling through everything. And I'm like, okay. So like, I was so excited, but like part of me was like taking a deep breath. I'm like, man, I was like not ready to start working right away on this or whatever's going on. And just, hey.
Well, I mean, you were sick. And I wasn't immediately going to call you or text you. Like, I understood that you were sleeping. I think you had told me earlier in the evening that you were going to take something to help you sleep and just, go pass out. So I was like, I'm not going to bother him. I got this. So I just forwarded the acceptance email to you, to Matt, and to Greg. And then in the email, like, specifically, it says, feel free to tweet, blog, podcast, and let the world know you will be attending. It is by no means a secret. So I'm like, well, heck yeah, I'm announcing this tonight. I'm not sitting on this. Why would I sit on this? It's not a surprise. I don't want it to be a surprise. I'm happy about this. So I put out, I made the graphic and I tagged everybody in it. Not thinking that you wouldn't be getting it until the morning.
It's funny when I read that email because I'm like, man, what if they had like an oops and they accidentally like hit approve all? You know what I mean? Something like that. That's what I saw when I first saw that email too. I'm like, oh my god, that sounds like a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah. So that's happening, man.
Good fun.
People have been asking us if we're going to record it, if we're going to live stream it. I know for sure we're not live streaming it because that was an option that you could pick when you're like submitting it. And I opted not to do that because that just sounds like a nightmare waiting to happen. And the last thing I want to be worried about that day is like trying to make sure the live stream is up and running.
Sure.
Recording it though, I think that's an option. I think we should be able to do that somehow, some way.
I might just Periscope from my face. it's like a camera just on me, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what kind of service we're gonna have. Like I have no idea, like cell service, Wi-Fi, like how any of that works.
Well, Wi-Fi is very simple. How it works is that
how well it works in the Cuttlefish Theater, Jason. But if we can record it, like if it might not be the best audio, but I think we should be able to get something out of it. So
yeah.
Hopefully those that aren't attending will at least be able to hear what went on. If not, we'll definitely have a story the following week about it. That's for sure.
No doubt.
So I'll be flying in. I leave Wednesday night. I'll be getting there Thursday morning. Yeah. I was like, it's 8 hours of travel. I don't want to spend 8 hours of travel in the middle of a day. Like, that seems stupid.
It's awful.
That's a waste of a day off, So I'll get off work. I'll get everything packed. I'll leave Portland at 9:30 p.m. And then I'll get to Boston at, like, almost 8 a.m. Like, that's perfect. Like, I'm not ready for the time traveling experience. Yeah. That I'm not super excited about. But I'm like, I could sleep on a plane. I could get a few hours of sleep, I'm sure, and be able to enjoy Thursday before PAX starts, doing something in Boston, I'm sure. And then come Friday, day one of PAX East, I'll be there and doing my thing. And then you'll be flying in Friday night, so we'll be good to go, man.
Ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. So that's that. That's the news. That's our lives. That's 2 weeks of we haven't been recording together, so we're gonna catch up live on air because that's what we do. It's what you tune into this podcast for. I'm sure that and the lovely coughing in the background.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah. Part of me is like, I should go back and clean this up and edit up. No,
there's just no way.
No, not happening. This is raw. This is what we give you week by week, everybody. We need to start the show. We need to start with Skylanders Superchargers.
The Superchargers.
Skylanders Superchargers, we have a new sponsor. Sorta. The sponsor of this segment of the podcast is, as always, our good friend Matt Sonnenberg. You can find him on Twitter at SCLMatt. However, he told me do not even mention SkylandersCharacterList.com. Like, don't even say that you can't even mention SkylandersCharacterList.com. Like, don't do it. Do not say SkylandersCharacterList.com. Don't tell him about the Facebook page of Skylanders Character List. Don't even say Skylanders Character List. Don't do it. He said don't do it. And I said, why, Matt? Why don't you want me to say SkylandersCharacterList.com? Because that is the official sponsor of the segment. He's like, no, I got something better. He wanted me to say that everybody should go over to SCLMatt, MATT.com.
Ooh.
Go there. He said that's the best place to find everything that he's up to. Everything. All in one little location. The name of the page is Follow Matt. He has official SCL media outlets. He has Matt's other projects. He has... did you know that he has an InfinityCharacterList.com?
Oh, yeah, we talked about it.
I completely forgot about this. I'm like, Matt, what are you doing?
He doesn't touch it much.
No. But
it's up to date, but he does,
Yeah, he has it up there. He has all his Twitters and YouTubes and Instagrams and everything like that. So SCLMatt.com is where you need to go to find everything that SCL Matt is up to. Do not go to SkylandersCharacterList.com.
Just say no.
Just don't do it. Don't click that link that I'm going to put in the show notes. Don't do it. What's going on, Skylanders, Jason?
Yeah, so nothing much this week besides, in case you did not know, in case you didn't know, I mean, if you're listening to the podcast, you might know, but Skylanders sent out an email yesterday, or 2 days ago, I don't know what day it was anymore, letting you know that there's Easter variants out in stores now. So, that's a bit of a shocking news.
It's about time.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure that actually happened.
Yeah, because I thought maybe they were like knockoff versions or something.
Yeah, maybe we got chase variants.
Right.
Because they weren't talking about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they sent an email Wednesday afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, whatever day it was, and they're like, "Hey, so Easter variants are a thing, and here's everything you need to know." And they also said about the Land Action Pack, which is fair. That's a little bit newer.
Right.
And it's about in stores now, but yeah, so it was so funny. Because we'll get to it later, but we keep talking about Disney Infinity, about the announcing back and forth, but we don't really talk about Skylanders because who really gives a rip whether they confirm it or not, because we already know everything due to different things.
And they don't seem to care.
Yeah, like whatever. And so I was like, when I sent this email, I'm like, I forgot they never actually officially announced this thing. But like, the more I think about it, I'm like, they've never really announced that many stuff. They just choose random things to announce, like the variants.
Right.
It's like the themed ones are like the only thing they really announce.
Yeah.
Or so it just shows up on the website, and I guess it's their confirmation of doing it. But again, Skylanders' best things they do is they got to keep everything canon.
Mm-hmm.
So for Spring Ahead Dive Bomber, with a brand new fleet of powerful vehicles at their disposal, the Skylanders are ready to battle evil wherever it hides. In an attempt to sneak into the aquatic nest of menacing Hydra, Hail Hydra, the Skylanders have disguised the dive bomber as a decorative egg, hoping Hydras like to protect their eggs and not eat them. Right.
They did not need to make up a backstory for this.
God, can you imagine someone's getting paid to do that? So funny.
We are in the wrong business, my friend. We're on the wrong side of the business model, I think.
And then Excited Thrillipede, just as great. Thrillipede is all suited up and ready to defend his title as the reigning Dragon Egg Toss champion. If you paid me $1 million to guess why Excited Thrillipede would guess, I never would guess that if you gave me 2,000 different guesses. After last year's controversy, all right, who can forget the Dragon Egg Toss champion controversy of 2015? When Chaos wrongly accused of him of coating several dragon eggs with sticky tape. Thrillipede is eager to show everyone that his egg tossing supremacy was no fluke. And to prove his point, he's agreed to enter the competition with one hand tied behind his back.
One of 4.
Skylanders, you are so crazy.
What? Wow. That's something special right there.
Last year's controversy.
I mean, we all remember that. Holy cow. Oh man. Oh
God,
man.
that's my favorite thing. Like, I love that story so much. I don't even know what to do with it. Like, I feel like I need to do something with that quote. But oh man.
Holy cow. This is gonna be an interesting rest of the podcast.
Tell you what. I gave you fair warning.
You did. Like I said, there is absolutely no reason why this needed to happen. Like, I'm pretty sure that every Skylanders fan out there is just like, these are cool variants. They're Easter themed. Easter's coming up. This makes sense. But they're like, no. It doesn't make sense in the canon of Skylanders. We need to make this official. We need to give an explanation as to why it's Easter themed. Here it is. I love it. Absolutely love it. Good old Skylanders.
Good old Skylanders.
They're just ridiculous. They're absolutely ridiculous, and we love them for it.
I love every second of that. Like, gosh.
Also, like you said, like the press release pointed out the Land Action Racing Pack, which came out, and it said that it was in stores now. And I know Matt immediately
got really bad.
Yeah, he was like, they're not in stores, it's just Amazon. And then he went to a store and he actually found one in store, and he was like, okay, all's forgiven.
Quote, I was gonna go off on them for telling me the Land Action Pass was in stores. So funny.
And then he found one. So Skylanders, welcome to the future, where you guys are breaking news and giving us information before we know it. You're incredible. Keep doing you. Just keep being Skylanders. Anything that leaks, anything that comes out early, anything that's not register locked, that is supposed to come out for another month or so, whatever. Just roll with it. Just announce things when you want to announce things. Pretend like it never happened.
Who gives a rip?
Boom. Speaking of which, have you found any of those Power Blues?
Yeah, man.
I have not. I've been checking my Walmarts constantly, daily. And I'm sick. I'm sick of going into Walmart. I am absolutely 100% sick of doing it. They don't ever put new stuff out.
Nope.
And I'm just like I'm doing it at different times now because I'm thinking maybe I'll get lucky in the morning, or maybe I'll get lucky at the end of the day, or whatever the case is. I'm making all these justifications as to why I should be going, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna walk in and I'm just gonna find them, and I know that I'm not going to, because I know my stores aren't going to put them out because they have no reason to put them out, because the other ones aren't selling. So why are they going to put more out on the shelf and clear off pegs that are completely filled, you know?
Right.
So I know I'm not going to find them. So I think as of today, I've given up the hunt, and I'm just going to wait for March 1st.
I think it's a fair thing to do.
Yeah.
That's me. I kind of checked places just because I wanted to find them.
Yeah.
And once I found them, which I did at GameStop, and their register locked, and I was like, well, that was fun while it lasted.
Right.
So I guess I'll just wait with everybody else.
Yeah. At least we'll know that they'll be at all stores that we
Right.
know of. So that'll be something, I guess, as long as people actually sell them on the day they're supposed to. Still no word on Battlecast?
Nope, nothing.
You would think that they would want to start, generating some interest.
Yeah, let me see if they've posted anything recently, but I don't think.
Because I have to feel like somebody listens to this show that works in retail that has opened up a box of these cards that are just sitting there that they can't put out until 3/1/16.
Right.
But we haven't heard anything from anybody.
Nope.
That makes me nervous. Because I really want them to come out on the 1st. Because I really want to waste a bunch of money on these.
I know, I'm going to blow so much on it.
But like, their silence is scary. Like, if these were figures, it's just to the point where we expect that from Skylanders. But you would think that this would be something that they'd start pushing hard,
What to be excited about.
Yeah.
I mean, they're putting them in friggin' TV dinner, so.
Right. Make people want to buy those. Give them reason. Don't make us import from New Zealand, Skylanders. We will if we have to. We don't want to.
Nope.
That shipping cost, man. Anything else with Skylanders?
No.
Yeah.
About it. Just, holding pattern after the crazy month that was.
Yeah, that was super unexpected. We've had a couple listeners actually tweet us and show off their coppers that they found at recent stores.
Yeah, we're finding a lot of people finding them, which is great.
Yeah, except for us. We don't find anything.
No.
We're lame. As much as we go to stores, you would think, right?
I know, right? Every time I go to Toys R Us, I'm like, today's the day. Let's do it. And like one of these days, I'm like, I'm just gonna Periscope it because I'm feeling confident. And then nothing. Nothing.
It almost it kind of bugs me to think that some kids or other people that don't really know are just walking up and just grabbing it, thinking that's what they're supposed to look like. Because there's no special indication on the box or anything like that they're different. So they're just like, oh, that was cool, and they just grab it, not knowing how cool it is.
Right. Or the people that find 2 in their store. I'm like, how'd you get 2 boxes?
Right. Oh, they just sent a case of 4. How convenient. They put them all on one peg for you. That's nice. Skylanders. Drive us crazy. Drive us crazy. Moving on to Lego Dimensions. Lego Dimensions segment of the podcast is sponsored by Brett. You can find him on Twitter at BrettMan79. Of course, he's the man in charge of the Aulani Hotel in Hawaii. He is our Disney Park Tsum Tsum exclusive picker-upper when need be. We almost needed him today.
I almost needed him.
But then we didn't. So that's good. But he sent us a picture of the office redecoration that's going on.
Those are sick.
How cool were those things?
They're the best.
Yeah. That's super cool artwork. Super jealous. That would make for a fine household.
If you're a Disney fan, make sure you go to Brettman79 on Twitter to go look at this awesome paintings that they have hanging up.
Yep. Super jealous, Brett. Just so you know. What's going on with Lego Dimensions?
Yeah, so the big thing, well, I shouldn't say big, but I guess it's Lego Dimensions, so it's still big. But they started a new video series this week because I guess that kids show end. I guess
they ran out of things to talk about.
I guess so.
And I think they cost too much. The kids
probably.
Yeah.
But so they started a new video series called Interviews, but with 2 T's for TT Games. But it's interviewing the developers, just random people in their development team, which is really cool because there's a lot of faces you just don't see. You always see, so many people in the you see so many of them, but there's obviously a lot of people are going to be constantly out in the Twitter scape or in front of all the cameras. So it's really cool to see all these different people that's actually involved with the whole thing.
Right.
But it's just asking random weird questions. Like the first question was, would you rather have a kiss on the nose from Joker or a punch in the face by Bane? I'm kissing the nose, man. Bane, I don't want Bane to punch me in the face.
I mean, he broke Batman's back.
Right.
Let's not, sugarcoat the fact that he's just an overall beast of strength. Right. Like, yeah, I'm not messing with that.
So, but they have a bunch of funny questions there. It's cool to get some faces to them all. Wish they showed like Twitter handles, so you can definitely find them all. But
right.
Still pretty cool thing to get out there to show you that there's a lot of people involved with making the games that you appreciate. So, awesome move by them.
Yeah, I wish more studios would do stuff like that. Like, let us, the fans, I understand why they do it, because they don't want the people to be harassed by the people on the internet who are not pleasant to deal with. But there are so many more fans out there that would like to think and, follow and interact with the people that are making these games, the background texture artists and all the people that do like all the small ancillary things that help make something, the larger picture be incredible. They don't get the recognition at all, so it's cool. Like I really liked the video, and I hope they do a lot more of those, because it seems like a very, very cool studio and a lot of cool personalities behind the scenes that this is kind of allowing us to get to know. So,
yep, agreed.
I appreciate it, and they don't really have much else to talk about. So, any new thing that they could do to kind of keep reminding people that it's a thing, the better. I really kind of wish that they would start talking about the Midway Arcade level pack that's coming out soon.
And that's the thing I don't get. I don't know why they don't do like each week show a little bit more of something of it.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it after it all releases. Why don't you build up to it? But who knows?
Yeah, get people excited for the release day.
Because if you go to their website, they don't even make acknowledgement that it's coming.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
What do we know?
We just talk about it. We don't know nothing. Know nothing. So that's Lego Dimensions. We're just patiently waiting for them to squeak out something. Hopefully next week they'll finally start talking about it. It'll be 2 weeks away from the release of it, so maybe, hopefully.
Maybe. Dude, it's March 15th, also the day the PlayStation VR event is.
At the GDC?
Yeah, man. Friggin' so much going on.
I am super curious about that event. Will they announce the price finally? Have they been waiting to see what Oculus and Vive come in at and, undercut them like they did the Xbox One in price?
I feel like since everybody else is priced out, they have to. If they're waiting, according to the GameStop guy, it's coming out this fall. That's a long way away. Yeah. So they technically don't have to yet, but if everybody else's price is out on the table, it's just going to get obnoxious if your price isn't out on the table.
Right. 600 Oculus, 800 for Vive. Of course, you need very intense gaming rigs to support the PC play of those. The PlayStation VR has the benefit of just hooking up to the PlayStation 4 and running off of that.
And I think it looks the best to be like visual-wise.
Aesthetically,
yeah,
me too.
It looks futuristic.
And I like that. So, I mean, they could probably get away with like a $600 price. Like, I know they don't want to. I know they want to be under the other two.
Right.
But the only way that they could justify that price is by hammering home the point that you don't have to have $1,000 plus PC to run the thing, because you already have your PlayStation 4, which is significantly cheaper than the computer you'd have to build. So,
right.
But I really want them to come in cheaper, 400,
Yeah.
We'll see. So excited though. I just want more information. Lego Dimensions.
It'd be a great VR game.
This is your fault, Lego Dimensions. This is your fault. Just want to point that out. Moving right along, it's everybody's favorite segment, Amiibo by Nintendo. The Amiibo segment of the podcast is sponsored through Patreon by our friend at Amiibo Amigo. You can find him over at amiiboamigo.com. Amiibo Amigo on Twitter and Instagram, of course. And check out his YouTube page, 8-Bit CR. 8-Bit, so it's number 8, BIT CR. Check that out on YouTube. Bonus points if you speak Spanish or at least can understand it. If not, I'm telling you, there is still entertainment value to be held over there. So
yes,
check them out. Thank you, Amiibo Amigo, for helping us out. We know you love Amiibo. I love your photography of your Amiibo. Keep it up. You're doing great work, my friend.
They talking about him reminded me, I forgot to say a special thank you at the beginning of this for the podcast, and the special podcast for my birthday that people put together, sitting in their special happy birthdays. It was phenomenal and great. But it was reminding me now, Amiibo Amigos, I think, was one of my favorite ones. Just his was so funny.
Yeah.
So it was great. So again, thank you to him. Thank you to everybody else who put that together.
Yeah, I tried to get hold of as many people as I possibly could. I got to be honest with you, it was a little bit of a rush job. I usually have my best ideas not far in advance.
Who doesn't?
So I was like, I had the idea, and within like 10 minutes of having the idea, I was starting to put it together. And I was just mass messaging as many people as I could possibly get for this. And then, of course, our friend Tori, who made the exclusive Funko Shopkins Flocked Toys for Game exclusive figure. She did the artwork for it.
Yeah.
And she was actually leaving for the weekend, so she put something together as best as she could. And she gave me a stern warning. She was like, give me more time next time. I was like, look, I promise you, if I knew about it, if I could have given you more time, I totally would have. So, it was a complete accident, but it seemed to work out fairly well. So I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I appreciate everybody's help that made it special for you.
Yep.
Also, I do think Jason number 2 was jealous.
Absolutely.
Had to have been. What's going on with Amiibo?
Yes, the big Amiibo news this week, one of the bigger things, that there is a restock happening on Saturday for Pokemon Day. GameStop is going to be promising restocks for Charizard, Greninja, Pikachu, and Jigglypuff. I think that's right? Yeah. So all those are ready to go. The big one, obviously, is Jigglypuff. So if you missed out on Jigglypuff when it was up for the record time at that point, is going back, ready to go for you. So
no longer Target exclusive.
Nope.
Jigglypuff. Good old Jigglypuff.
Good old Jigglypuff.
I've seen a bunch at my local Toys R Us.
Really?
A lot of the Pokemon restock.
Oh. Seen Jigglypuff also?
Seen Jigglypuff, Charizard. Those have been the main ones. A lot of Pikachus also.
Gotta love the Pika Pika.
Yeah.
The other news that the Gold Mega Man came out, which I still have not opened up that bundle yet. and the infamous blank packaging. So funny. As you said, Nintendo hates inbox collectors. That's confirmed with this.
That is the biggest slap in the face to people that insist on keeping those things in the boxes.
Like, not even like it's like, because they could have made a different packaging.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they made it the same packaging, just blank, is just pure kick.
And they put the security thing underneath the base of it.
Dude, pure kick in the groin region. Hilarious. Gosh. Like, part of me wants to not open it now because of that reason, because it's so funny to me.
Right.
But, oh man, so good. So anyways, that is out. Still available at a couple of retailers, I believe, online, and as all the other game bundles should be available in your stores eventually for a limited time, I'm sure, but it should still be around.
I had completely forgot that it came out the morning a couple days ago, the 23rd, when I realized it was out because everybody was tweeting about it. I had this brief panic attack that I had forgotten to pre-order it when it went up for pre-order like last year. And I searched everywhere. Everywhere in my accounts that I would have pre-ordered it from, Amazon, Best Buy, I think I even looked in Target. I couldn't find anything. I was like, I did not pre-order this. Like, I was super confident back then that I was going to be able to find this thing in store. So I completely panicked and I ordered one from Best Buy because it went up on online for Best Buy. So I quickly ordered one. And I was like, okay, cool. And it's actually sitting in the store. I need to go pick it up. And then I got home that day, and there was an Amazon package. And I was like, man, what is in this? Because I'm pretty sure I should just be getting Far Cry Primal. And this is a big box. I mean, Amazon's used to mispackaging things. They do it quite frequently. But this was a much larger box than I was expecting for just one video game.
Sure.
And in it was the land racing action pack for Skylanders a week after I was supposed to get it. And the bundle with the gold Mega Man amiibo. I was like, I did order that thing. How come I couldn't find it on my order list? I couldn't find it at all.
That's funny.
Yeah, so there you go.
Two notes, two funny stories. One, we got Surface tablets in at work that we're trying out for our service techs.
Ooh.
And so if you order 3 of them from Best Buy, 2 of them came in like a UPS box, which is weird. But they're bundled in there nice. One came in from a Best Buy box, but it was just a beat up cardboard box, okay? And with a tape across it says inspected by Best Buy. And I pick it up, and this thing's like, I don't know, 3 feet by 2 feet, like a bigger box, and it has a Surface tablet in there, okay? $600 Surface tablet,
right?
And no packing materials whatsoever. So
just
so like,
floating around loose.
Yeah, so I'm just twisting this box around. I'm like, hey, Chris, what's in this box? It's like our Surface tablet, and I'm like, well, here's the funny story. There's no packing material in this thing, and like it says like inspected by Best Buy, and the tape's like barely hanging on. Like you could easily go in there and take the product out without like ripping the tape and stuff. I'm like, what a weird job this was, and especially the other one came in like a UPS store box, you know?
Right.
And like the whole thing is just weird. So, anyways, I set that Surface tablet up today, and like half the screen has dead zones on it. I'm like, fair enough. So I'm like, this one's getting returned because they freaking broke it.
Someone's getting fired.
Yeah. But yeah, it was funny too because I remember ordering it at Amazon when it first went up to lock it in, and it went up at Best Buy. I swore I canceled it at Amazon, but apparently I didn't.
Right.
And so I got it at Best Buy online, and then it went online a couple of weeks later for in-store pickup. So then I got it for in-store pickup. So I had to cancel my online version, the ship. And I'm like, all right, so that's all canceled. So I'm like, all right, good to go. And then got an email from UPS saying like your Mega Man is shipped, and I'm like, oh sweet, so excited. And then like 2 hours later, it's like, your Mega Man is shipped. I'm like, you already told me that. And I'm like, looking back, it's like, why is it 2 different tracking numbers? That's weird. I'm like, God dang it,
The most Jason thing ever.
Yeah. So I returned one to the Best Buy, and they're like, oh, is anything wrong with it? I'm like, no, I ordered 2. And he's like, I won't tell if you won't tell. I'm like, nah, sounds good, but I'm telling on the podcast, so you can tell a Best Buy person.
That's right.
But yeah, so excited that came out. Looks pretty sweet. As far as I know, same chip as the regular Mega Man.
Yep.
So
That works just like the regular Mega Man amiibo. It is the Super Smash Brothers pose. I mean, it's the same one, just gold. But I mean, if you have to collect them all, that's a variant.
Got that right.
Kudos to Nintendo for doing weird little things like this.
Sell the Mega Man collection better.
Yeah. Going back to the box thing, people were like upset about Capcom. They said it was Capcom being lazy with the box. I don't think this is a Capcom decision at all.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, this just screams Nintendo. But I don't know. What do I know? Especially here's my philosophy on it. I don't think it's Capcom because it is the Super Smash Brothers form of the Mega Man amiibo, which is a Nintendo thing.
Right.
You know, if this was a new, different Mega Man that was just for this game, that was bundled exclusively with this game, and it was different than the Super Smash Brothers Mega Man, then we could possibly look at Capcom. But because it's in the Smash Brothers line and it's just a gold variant, like, I'm pretty sure this is Nintendo through and through. So don't even worry about it, folks. Just open it up, put it on your shelf, throw away the plastic prison, good to go.
Indeed.
What do we have tomorrow?
Yeah, so the big news tomorrow is we're getting a Pokemon Direct, not a Nintendo Direct. Pokemon Direct.
Pokemon Direct. 5 minutes.
5 minutos.
Allegedly
from Nintendo Japan Twitter account. But yeah, so excited for that. 5 minutes is a long time. So like people are like, you know, some people are saying it's short, but like I was saying in our Slack chat the other day, that, you know, if you think the last Nintendo Direct, it was like 35 minutes, but like think how actually little announcements actually came out of that. Like a decent amount, but not 35 minutes worth. You know what I mean? Sure. There was so much just stuff they could have cut out there, but they just, you know, they didn't have to. But there's a lot of, you know, stuff they could have if they wanted to. So 5 minutes is definitely still a long time. I mean, they can wrap some stuff up pretty quickly and just don't have to delve into a lot of details. They can even say a lot of, you know, details to come soon, and that's still fine. So. But you know.
So are we getting the fabled Pokemon card amiibo announcement?
I feel like going into it, you know, felt Pokemon Z was still the strong possibility. Still saying it is still a strong possibility.
Sure.
You know, the Pokemon stuff that came out today could be a split Pokemon Z release or something.
Yeah.
But there's got to be something beyond that. Like there's, I mean,
I just don't think that announcement is big enough for its own direct.
What, Pokemon Z?
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel special enough, you know?
Yeah.
It has to be something else.
I could, and again, they could dive into that, and then like it could be 4-minute 50-second mark, and then like, oh, and Pokemon Amiibo cards are coming, more details at E3, and just drop the mic.
Boom!
You know?
Walk out. Done.
I'd be okay with that. I'd be 100% okay with that.
The internet would light itself on fire.
Right.
In excitement.
Yep.
It would be insane.
The Smash style, to show a pack of Pokemon cards, and then put an Amiibo sticker on it, and then boom, it's done. Just don't say anything else.
Right. You start off with Z.
Yeah.
And like the Sun Moon split thing, whatever that's going to be, we have no idea. So start off with that, and then I say you have to go into a release date of Pokemon Go, because people are wondering where that's at. So just give it a release date, or at least a release window, you know, say summer or July or whatever, you know. Right. Give people something, and then, like you said, just finish with like the last 10 seconds. Pokemon Amiibo cards, boom. Here's what Pikachu card looks like. Done. Fade to black. Giant, you know, fireworks going off, and
thanks for watching.
American flags waving, and Bald Eagle comes, you know, soaring into the background, and
right.
Yeah.
Or they could easily just do what they did with the Smash Bros. Director. They said like the 50 announcements, and then it'd be like 57. You know, it could be 5 minutes, but it just keeps going, like never cuts out. You know, who knows?
Yeah. I'm excited.
If it is only 5 minutes, props to them. I mean, it's only the one region, but just them coming out at the get-go saying it's just 5 minutes.
Right.
Because if they waited freaking 72 hours and then it comes up like it's only 5 minutes, people be flipping out.
Yep.
So good to get that out front.
Yeah. So by the time you're listening to this podcast, most of you will probably already know that we are completely wrong in everything that we just said about that. That's what we do, though.
It's so short you can take a bathroom break and go watch it. That's great.
Perfect. No one will even know.
No one will even know.
Except when you scream in
the bathroom.
Someone might have questions after that.
Especially if it's Pokemon names, because good Lord knows nobody around you is going to know what that is. And they're like, man, that guy's having some issues.
Snorlax! That's weird.
Ho ho!
Oh, man. That's Amiibo for you.
Yep.
Next Amiibo to come out is the Wolf Link Amiibo, correct?
Yes.
That comes out the 4th, right?
Yep.
And then the next wave comes out the
18th.
18th. So 2 weeks separation.
On Pokken Day.
Pokken Day. I really want it to be Pokken. I don't know why. That's Amiibo. That's Amiibo, folks. Now we have to get into the moment you've all been waiting for. The only reason why people were bummed last week, Jason, that you were not on the podcast, because let's be honest, Val did a wonderful job filling in as the expert on the show. We had a lot of fun. But the one thing people were upset about with you not being on the show was not being able to talk about, of course, Disney Infinity. Yes. Disney Infinity, I must remind you, is, of course, sponsored by James Holian over on Twitter at Infinity Museum. Disney, I know you're listening. Please, 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 please make that freaking glow-in-the-dark Buzz Lightyear. Make it happen. If not, I will make it happen myself, personally. Somehow, some way. James Holian is getting the glow-in-the-dark Buzz Lightyear figure.
We have friends at Walgreens. We'll make it happen.
We do. We have friends all over the place, my friend. Jason.
Yes, sir.
What's going on with Disney Infinity?
Yeah, so next week is the release of Nick and Judy Disney Infinity figures, and a little-known secret, since Disney doesn't want to talk about it because this is a stupid choice, Zootopia Power Disc pack.
Yeah.
It's coming out on Tuesday. Who knew?
Why
Who
are
knew?
Why are they talking about that pack?
Because there's a story spoiler in it. Because,
you know. In the disc? Like, you have to, like, dig into the disc and...
Nope. Just
what?
look at the picture and be like, why is that on there?
Oh, just right there on the disc.
Yeah, and then, like, okay, but you flip the description over and, like, read the description, and it's like, oh, that's weird. That's the end of the movie.
Oh, so not like a spoiler of, like, what's in the game of something cool that you could do.
No.
Like a spoiler of the actual movie.
Yeah, like, you could, like, okay, so that's how the movie ends.
So, theoretically, somebody could go to the store on the 1st of March.
Yep.
First thing in the morning, right when Target opens, walk in, buy the Power Disc pack.
Yep.
The Zootopia Power Disc pack, along with their Nick and Judy Disney Infinity figures. Walk out, open that thing, and have the ending of the movie that they can't even go watch for a couple hours because the theater is not open yet.
Not a couple hours, a couple days.
Oh, when
it comes out Tuesday, and the movie comes out on
Friday.
Friday.
That's even worse.
Yep.
Oh my god. People are going to have these things, and they are going to have the ending of this movie spoiled.
Yep. So here's the thing. The Power Disc, you have a terrain and a sky dome. Okay.
Predictable.
Great. Yeah, awesome. And then 2 costume change discs.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but it's a half. Again, I'm gonna go right on it. This is what you get when you want clear packing Power Discs. You get these 4 Power Discs. Fact.
Whoa.
Okay. So it's it's when you look at them like this is the best we could get,
Yeah.
And it's great. Like, don't get me wrong, like, they're fun, they're exciting, they make sense for the figures we're getting, but like, they are what they are. And then, like, that's why I think they were like, they probably were like, I don't know what else to do with this stuff, so we need to make 4, so let's do this. And then I don't know when it clicked. I honestly have no idea. But then they're like, holy frick, we can't say what this is about because it's ruining the movie. Right. And it's like, okay, that's one thing, and maybe release it on release day of the movie. Okay, I guess, and release it on Friday. But then they haven't even done pre-orders in the United States, so people don't even know it's coming. Right. They're not going to release sale figures. I guarantee this is going to sell worse than even the Tomorrowland Power Disc pack from launch. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
Like, it's like no one's gonna buy it because no one knows it exists. You know, because I could barely get talk about it. You know, like I can say there's 4 Power Discs coming, but that's all I'm allowed to say because Disney gets mad.
But the advantage they have is that people will be going to buy Nick and Judy, and they'll see those next to them, and they'll pick them up.
But no one's gonna look at Power Discs, and they're purple, so you're not gonna know they're any different than Tomorrowland. You know what I mean?
I think there's a better chance of them selling than Tomorrowland packs, because nobody even watched the Tomorrowland movie. So you take like the small percentage of Disney Affinity fans that actually saw Tomorrowland that would actually be interested in buying Tomorrowland Power Discs. It's microscopic compared to how much of an advantage the Zootopia Power Discs have by coming out with 2 figures to go along with it.
Right. The thing that kills me the most, and I haven't heard the reason why this is, you know, we keep talking about Zootopia is called Zootropolis overseas in some places, and not in like parts of Europe, in France, only in France. It came out like 3 weeks ago, the movie, and then the rest of Europe gets it like after the U.S. release.
Right.
Like, why did France like? Are they booked solid for the rest of like March or something? Like, it came out in the middle of February, so the Power Discs are out over in Europe.
Right.
But again, if you go to Disney's website, like, there's no Power Discs. What, are you freaking crazy? You know, and like all there's ever been was the press release line in the initial press release back at D23. That's it. Some of the places overseas do have like that invisible or like that question mark Power Disc image. Yeah. That's on some of them. Some of the retailers are just listing the like the actual picture of the disc because they're like whatever. But it's so bizarre. So I'm like, oh, I'm glad they did that, so I can easily see that for a giveaway. And that's what I'm trying to do best, to let you know these things are freaking coming. But like, it's gonna be weird because they're gonna show them. They have to be showing them on their Twitch stream on Tuesday,
right
after the announcement.
Right.
Because they're gonna do gameplay. But it's gonna be weird. Like, hey, there's spoiler alert for friggin' Zootopia. But
which isn't the biggest deal, but there are some people that, you know, would rather that movie not be spoiled for them. You know, right. Like they want to go in seeing that film and not know, as predictable as it may be, what the ending's going to be like. So right. The best way they could have avoided this is just make something different for the disc.
Right. 100%.
Plain and simple.
Like, why was this never thought of? But who knows?
Give us a flash 100-yard dash costume change, you know, or something, you know, like, or an ability that makes your character move in slow motion,
right?
You know,
right.
Which could be fun and, you know, change up things a little bit than just a simple costume, you know. So many options they could have picked that didn't directly tie into the ending of the movie, and they're just, somebody signed off it and they're like, yeah, this is a great idea,
right?
Until it's not. So
yeah. last thing I'm gonna say about Power Disc, remember Disney Infinity 2.0, we got Gus the Mule.
Yeah,
it's like my favorite Power Disc from 2.0.
Right.
Yeah, you'll never see that in 3.0 because of the clear packaging. All right, so let's move on. I'm still on Team Blind Bag.
You will never let this go, will you?
No, because we got a bunch of weird random Power Discs now instead of these awesome ones like Gus the friggin' Mule. The best.
Marketing tie-ins, my friends.
I know, man.
That's what it's all about.
Hashtag marketing machine. Love it or hate it. Just telling you the truth.
Truth hurts, JV.
Truth hurts. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Nope.
I'm just saying that's what it is.
Yep. Own it.
So, yeah. Anyways, we're having a next event on Tuesday, if you didn't know.
A what?
A next event.
Wait, I don't think I caught that word. What was it?
Disney Infinity Next.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. They haven't been really clear about that word since they announced it.
No. If you didn't know, it's called Next.
All caps.
But, yes.
Don't forget the caps.
Now, it's important to notice with this, as with any Disney Infinity announcement, people take it and expectations are up to that they're going to announce Disney Infinity 7.0 at this point.
Right.
People are going out the wazoo with this, what they're going to announce. Okay? So the thing says, on March 1st, join Disney Infinity Senior Vice President and GM John Blackburn and Vice President of Production John Vignacchi for a look at What's coming next to Disney Infinity 3.0? What's coming next? Next. Okay? So the artists, directors, and producers who bring Disney Infinity to take you, the artists, directors, and producers who bring Disney Infinity to life take you behind the magic of the game. Join the conversation on Twitter with hashtag Disney Infinity. What? Next. Okay, so Tuesday, March 1st at 10 a.m. Pacific time or 1 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay.
The key word in all of that.
Next.
Is two different things. One's not in that one, but in the press release I put out for you. It's also on their website for a different thing. Is what's coming next to Disney Infinity 3.0. Not what's coming to 4.0. Not what's coming in the friggin' fall. Not what's coming in August. What's coming next. Okay. This is Disney Infinity Spring 2016 next. This is in the countdown. 5 days until Disney Infinity next premiere. Okay. This is the first one of these. This is like the Disney's Nintendo Direct. Is basically what this is. Okay.
Which so I really like. I really like the idea.
100%.
Yep.
100%. So this is the Spring 2016 edition. This is not the 2016 edition. Okay.
Right.
So they're not gonna go hog friggin' wild.
Right.
Of announcements. So we know a crap load, a literal metric crap load unit of stuff they've yet to announce.
Measure that. Yes.
Yes. I don't spoilers.
Do we actually know?
Yes.
Do we?
Yes. You can pre-order everything at places in friggin' GameStop.
Look, just because GameStop puts a flyer out doesn't mean it's official.
Look, South Africa hasn't put it on any of their websites, so I don't know if I take it
right
serious
until that happens.
But we got Black Panther coming. We got Vision.
Yep.
We got Black Suit Spider-Man.
Yep.
And we got
Ant-Man
coming.
Yep.
Okay, from Marvel.
Something big's coming.
Yep. We got Baloo.
Yep.
Okay. We got Baloo coming.
Yep.
We got Boba Fett single release.
Yep.
We got the Marvel Power Disc pack.
Yep.
Okay, so we're up to friggin' 7.
Yeah.
We got Light Effects Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Which is up for pre-order with a date on Amazon Spain.
Keep going.
So that's 8 things.
Yeah.
All 8 of those fully expect to be announced at this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's
something?
it.
You're forgetting something?
What else am I forgetting?
Alice in Wonderland.
No.
What?
Spring 2016.
You don't think that's spring?
It could be. I mean, it's when does
the film come out? May?
Looking Glass. Yeah. My goodness.
You warned. When you get excited, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, May 26th. So I mean, it's a possibility.
That's still spring, my friend.
Yeah, but listen. So I'm saying everything else is going to get announced.
Okay.
That's like if I'm which is how I'm going to break it down in my article. This is like lock it, or book it, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland, it's not a 100% book it.
Okay.
But it's like 90%.
Sure.
Because if it's if they're getting ready to talk about in the Disney France magazine, God, this industry is the best. The genre, the best.
Probably won't, but if it does, it won't be a surprise.
Right. So more than likely that's going to get announced.
Okay.
But if it doesn't, I'm not like shocked by anything.
Sure.
But that's on there. So there could be more Disney original characters coming. There could be more Disney Infinity Marvel characters coming. But I don't think it's anything they're going to announce tomorrow, or not tomorrow, on the first.
Yeah.
So all that is going to get announced, and they'll probably announce that there's a Super Power Disc back up. But so all that to say is, do not, and I repeat, do not be disappointed if that's all they announce.
Right.
Because that's stupid. They just announced 8 things.
Yeah.
Okay. Whether or not because of the leaks or blah 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 blah, that's fine. There's still a lot they could show us with it. They could show gameplay. They could do other stuff. Mm-hmm. That's great. Yep. If they just show the figures and blah, 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 I'm still totally fine with that. Yep. Okay. You can't fault them that leaks happened, and so therefore they're not dropping bombshells.
Right.
That's a ridiculous argument. So
that's our fault. We're sorry.
Right. Yeah. So sorry about that. But you can't take. And I say this all the time. And from me, for a person who leaking some of this stuff, I'm gonna be just as excited when they officially announce this stuff as I was when they first leaked.
Absolutely.
And you need to get that in your head. If you're not that way, then it,
because they're going to be so excited about it, and they're immediately going to make everybody else super excited about it just by listening and watching them.
Right. So I hope they show gameplay or something, I hope we don't just get their weird things they call screenshots. But there's a lot to be announced, and I'm super excited for it. And there's so much to be there, so it should be fun. I'm really excited about that. Obviously, like Peter Pan's coming. People keep saying that's going to be shown. No. I don't think so. No. Last I heard, artists haven't even seen it yet, so maybe let's say show it on friggin' February 28th or something, or 29th this month.
Yeah.
But I don't. Again, this is spring 2016, so there's no sense of putting it out there. But the Disney Infinity Next as a whole, this is the answer to their leaks.
Yep.
Nintendo Direct style. Again, this is Bush League. Why do you think you need to have pre-orders up when you announce this stuff? You did it for 2.0, you did it for 1.0, so why do you feel like you need to now? It's bigger now, so people are always going to remember. It's not like 1.0 where if you don't get it out, then people are going to forget. It's not going to happen.
Push out the pre-orders after these little videos come out.
So if it's Marvel being a drama queen or whatever you want to blame it on, that's fine. Whatever. But, you can do this stuff now. If Marvel doesn't want to approve of you announcing it 3 months before it's out, tell them they can go...
Control the messaging, Disney.
Go watch Batman vs. Superman.
Right.
But... Did you see that about Regal's having that ticket deal again?
Yeah.
You could pay $100.
Yeah.
Watch Batman vs Superman every single day.
Can you get your refund after seeing it the first time, depending on how good it is? Like, what's the return policy?
I'd rather spend $100 on that freaking Olive Garden coupon they had last year.
Okay, so 2 questions.
Yes.
One, is this supposed to be a monthly series? No, did they say specifically?
No, they all said is the first, and this is called the spring one. So
quarterly is what we're looking at?
I would seasonally. I would think so.
Okay, because that's if it was a monthly thing, I would think that maybe Baloo would get pushed back a month.
Well, he's coming out March 15th, so.
You really think so?
Yeah, 100%. It's up for pre-order on Amazon with the shipping date. Amazon is Spain.
Sure. It just seems so weird. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
They're going to drop so much crap that day.
Yeah.
That's why they're releasing it then. There's just everything comes out that day. Kylo Ren's the only one that might not come out that day. Just because we haven't seen, like, Amazon Spain do anything that had a date on it, but Amazon Spain's dates for all the Disney Infinity products are, like, just really different weeks, and so theirs might be in split up. But Light Effects Kylo Ren is definitely coming. I should say that. I'm really curious for the PR spin on that. Really curious.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're probably going to be like, do the fan demand, or, do you guys ask
you?
Yeah. So, it takes months for us to make these things, but, we somehow made this one in a couple of months.
A lot of pixie dust went into that one.
Yeah.
Like you said, I think the important word of all of their messaging is the next word.
Yep.
Next isn't like the next version of Disney Infinity. It's not with the next game. It's not the next year, the next generation. It is literally what is coming out next.
Yeah.
Like, I think that is as far as anybody needs to read into it. Next. What is next? Oh, all of this stuff is releasing on this day. Perfect. That's what's next. We'll do it again next time we have something to talk about.
Yeah.
Disney Infinity. Without them, this podcast would be so boring.
It's the best.
I know they make your day just glorious on a regular basis.
Right. People say all the time, because people are like, why are you anti-Disney? Are you kidding me? I love Disney Infinity. I just love to poke them because they do so much weird things.
Yep. But this might be a good step for them.
This could be the answer to the problems.
Yeah.
Just do this. This is what we've been asking for a long time.
As long as they do it right. I swear, if this entire thing, I'm telling you right now, I will tell you, I will tell the listening audience, everybody that has this on right now, if this next event is just for the Battlegrounds, and they don't talk about the other figures, I am going to flip so many tables. I'm going to light the tables on fire, then I'm going to flip them. I cannot even fully explain how incredibly frustrated I would be if this is just about the Captain America playset piece.
Yep.
Because there's a chance that it is. You know there's a chance.
There's always a chance. Because I thought that too when I first I was like, I swear to God, if it's just gonna be Marvel related. But I'm like, there's no Marvel branding. There's nothing on there screaming Marvel. It's just pure out Disney Infinity core. So I'm like, I guess so.
I am just so scared that it's just, oh, this is what Battlegrounds looks like, and this is how Battlegrounds is gonna play, and check out all these cool things you can do in Battlegrounds, and then just like nothing else.
I was telling somebody, I was like, watch them announce everything but like Black Panther, like they just conveniently leave out one and just like act like there's nothing missing. Like, wait, what the, you forgot one. I'm like, nope, this is all of them.
Or it's like,
and then, like 2 weeks later,
Black Suit Spider-Man, which they've already talked about.
Yeah, or still forget about Ant-Man. Just like I hope they make a nod, like they actually forgot about Ant-Man. Like, oh, just kidding, here he is.
Oh, we didn't see him there on the table. He's so small.
Gosh. But yeah, I'm super excited for this. Really curious how it happens out. But it should be fun.
I'm excited for it to be really good and really well done. At the same time, I'm super excited for it to be just like the biggest train wreck of life.
Oh, no, gosh.
Because they have it in them.
I'm curious, like how this all developed. It's honestly, it seems like it's something that they've planned in like the last like 2 months.
Yeah.
This is not something that they have planned from the get-go,
right,
or it's months in the making. Like, this really seems like they're fed up with everything that's going on, and this is their answer to it. Which, if that's the case, bravo,
Yep.
So, yeah, it's great.
We shall see. What was that time and date?
March 1st, of course, at 10 a.m. / 1 p.m. Eastern Time,
Sure.
10 a.m.
And that will be on YouTube, on their website.
This is what's weird. And I guess it's because it's pre-recorded.
Okay.
Maybe. That's why I'm curious how they're going to do it. Because they didn't watch the stream, so I guess it's going to be live.
Okay.
But that's on YouTube. But then their follow-up, like, live post-show kind of thing, which isn't till, like, hours later, is on Twitch.
Interesting.
So I don't know if it's, like... I hope it's not a pre-recorded thing. I'm just going to hit live. Because, like, legit, I'm skipping through that junk and I'm taking screenshots as no one's business.
Sure.
So it's got to be an actual stream. But, like, you can log in to stream it on their website. Like, I have no idea what's going on.
Huh. Okay.
So it seems like it's pre-recorded Nintendo Direct style. I'm just going to hit,
okay.
Hit play.
I'm okay with that. Gives
them, too.
Yeah, tighten it up and make sure
absolutely
everything is in there that needs to be. So.
And if this is the case and they do this stuff, and I never get to leak another Disney Infinity thing again in my life, I'm 100% game with that, because this is what would be best and this is what I want.
We've done our jobs.
Right. I say all the time. Legit. Like, again, be mad at me all you want, but if this is what happens, it's because of the leaks. So, hashtag, you're welcome.
Everybody's better for it.
Yeah, burst.
Can't wait. Cannot wait, my friend.
Hashtag Gus the Mule.
No, I am no.
Yes.
I'm not letting you promote that any further.
How funny is that, though? Hashtag Team Blind Bags.
Nobody cares about blind bags.
When you're getting freaking crappy power discs, you do.
Just saying.
Gus the Mule.
It wouldn't be that bad if they didn't start out with the Tomorrowland power discs.
That's what I knew we were doomed from the start. Because at first I was like, oh, this is great. Because we're going to get, like, themed ones, and it's all these 4 things. Right. And because my first thought, I was like, oh, great. We're going to get more power discs, and they're all going to be themed instead of just, like, having one Gus the Mule. We'll have, like, a bunch from that movie.
Right.
And I'm like, this is going to be great. And then, like, 6 months goes by, and I'm like, we've gotten one themed power disc pack. And I'm like, because like all of it's like obvious, and then they're the Marvel one to bring out like what, Black Hawk, like what the frick is going on?
Gotta love him.
Love him.
You know what else I love?
Gus the Mule.
You're getting dangerously close to making this a show title, and I am not happy about that. We got to move on to our community question. This part of the podcast is sponsored by our friend Ken. You can find him over on Twitter at ProudGamerTweet. Check out everything he's doing with our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/toys4games. He also arranged the meetup that everybody had in New York City last weekend. which was awesome. He's helping a lot behind the scenes, a lot of stuff that you guys aren't seeing. Ken is helping out with big time, and hopefully that we could get him at PAX East as well to help out with our panel and our coverage from that show. So thank you, Ken, for your continued help and support as always. The community question this week: What upcoming figures from any of the Toys to Life franchises are you most excited about, and why? A lot of good answers. A lot of people were saying stuff that we, per Disney's request, cannot acknowledge exists. I think it started off with our friend Lauren. We've had her on the podcast before. She said, I can't say because they haven't announced the darn things yet. I, of course, assumed she was talking about the Power Blue Skylanders.
Absolutely.
She was not.
Logically.
Right. She was not. So, confirmed. I still don't really know what she's talking about. I have a guess. But you can find her on Twitter at Mighty Lauren. Few other responses that were really good. Like I said, a lot of the unannounced Disney figures. People were super excited about those. Buzzwing got a couple votes.
Nice.
I really want him to. With the vehicle. And just the regular Thrillipede too. Mm-hmm. A lot of votes for Aquaman and Lego Dimensions, just so people could finally finish the game 100% it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll give you that one. We had two standout answers though.
Oh yeah.
The first one was from Sky Amiibo fan 26, Eddie Garcia. He wrote in and said, definitely Bear from Fabulous Beasts. He says there sure was a missed opportunity though, and he put a gif of the bears stacked on top of each other from We Bear Bear. Hats off to you, my friend. That made me laugh. Really, really appreciated that one. But the only right answer for this question was, of course, from James Holian, who said, of course it has to be Glow in the Dark Buzz, because the collection will forever be incomplete until he's released. Disney, make it happen. Make this man's dream of a complete Disney Infinity collection come true. You promised him Glow in the Dark Buzz. You've yet to deliver. It's time. That's what's next.
What's next? I'll say this publicly, just because I still think it's hilarious to think about. If Disney did not change its course, which I tell those people all the time, I can go public with this. I don't care by saying this. I've yet to get a single takedown release post when we officially just said forget this for posting leaks again.
Yeah,
it's getting out of control. I've yet to get a single takedown request. I've emailed back and forth with PR multiple times, and they do not hate me. Well, at least not publicly hate me. But I sent this a text you the other night about that GameStop flyer.
Yeah.
I was like, if GameStop was still, or if Disney still was there, like, you can't talk about leaks, and I saw that picture, I would literally be chucking my chair out a window right now.
But so true. They've just given up because they know what's next. We know what's next. We just don't know what's next. Also, part of this segment, Jason, is your favorite part of the podcast.
It is my favorite.
I don't know how well you've been keeping up with trivia in the last couple weeks.
I don't know. I'm on drugs.
Being sick and, being drugged up and sleeping 18 hours a day. But the Inquire This segment, where we pose a trivia question to you, the expert, try to stump you, is going to go down right here tonight. And it is, of course, one of the most obnoxious possible topics we could possibly have.
Oh, God.
But it seems kind of fitting. This whole day has been kind of just weird, top to bottom. So let's just make it even more weird. Let's just dive right in to the pool of weird. This was sent in by our friend Guadalupe.
Yes.
The question is as follows. Gravity Falls just ended.
Oh, God.
So I dedicate this question to this special show. Now, I will give you the choice here, Jason. I will let you choose the easy version or the hard version.
Oh, go big or go home, man.
The hard version of the trivia question for the Inquire This segment is, name all Gravity Falls power discs from Disney Infinity 2.0.
Get out of here.
Mr. Power discs are so cool, and you wouldn't have all these cool power discs if you didn't have blind bags,
That's
blah,
right.
blah, blah.
That's right.
Name
That's right. There is a Sky Dome, and there is a terrain disc. There is Mabel's Fist. What else is there? The golf cart. Let's see, that's 4. Obviously, getting in 3.0. See, I got Forest and the Sky Dome, the Fist, the cart, and that's it.
Are you sure?
No.
Take a moment. Take a moment. Think about it. Think about it nice. Nice and hard.
Yeah, I'm locking in. Oh. Wait. Just 3. The cart wasn't built in. Just 3.
Interesting.
Yes.
Changing your answer to 3.
Because I can use the cart in 3.0 without putting the power disc down.
Interesting.
It's a 3. The Sky Dome, terrain, and the 5th.
Jason Greer.
Yes, sir.
You are correct.
Got that right. Gravity Falls fan number 1.
Mabel's Kittens for Fists, the Gravity Falls Forest, and the Gravity Falls Sky.
Boom.
Boom. Wow. I am shocked and impressed.
Hashtag Team Blind Bag.
Not a chance you were going to get that right. Not a chance. Wow. Blowing me away with your Gravity Falls power disc knowledge.
Because I keep thinking, like, the cart is, like, the most famous part of, like, the Gravity Falls content.
Right.
In it. And that's what I'm like, oh, it's got to be, because I don't say I use it all the time, but I know it's there, and I've used it different times because it's freaking ridiculous. So I'm like, oh, then it's a power disc then. And I'm like, oh, wait, no, a minute. Because I've used it in Speedway, so it's not a power disc.
Trick question.
Trick question. The Kitten's Fist is still a ridiculous thing.
It's all ridiculous.
It's all ridiculous.
The entire show. You know how many cosplayers we saw at Comic-Con that were Gravity Falls?
Oh, I bet a lot.
An absurd amount.
Yeah.
It was overwhelming.
I have his autograph in a book. I've searched.
You do. I remember that day. You were like, I am so doing this. I'm like, you better.
That was a crazy morning. I got my picture on a Yu-Gi-Oh card, and then I went and got my...
I mean, pretty much one of the best mornings you've ever had.
You're at Comic-Con, man. That was a blast.
Good times, good times. Finishing up this podcast, as we always do, is the email segment.
What was the easy version of the question?
It's just to name one of them.
Ooh, man, I'm glad I went big and go home.
Yeah, that would have been, man, that would have been just cakewalk.
Yeah,
you
man.
would have shown off and said all 3, just because you could. Anyway, thank you, Guadalupe, for the Inquire This question. Got a few more that I will throw into the stockpile of questions. But this one seemed appropriate tonight. Email segment of the podcast is sponsored by our friend Micheal O'Driscoll. You can find him on Twitter at amiibo_museum. Has been one of our biggest fans for a long, long time. We appreciate him and everything that he does for us, his continued support. Micheal, thank you so much. Thank you. Wrapping up the show with the emails.
Let's do it.
First email. This is from Mateo. Writes in and says, hello, Jason and Josh. Disney Infinity came out almost 3 years ago, and I don't know where I would be without it. That game got me into collecting, and I dabbled in Skylanders, but left soon after. Disney Infinity gave me an excuse to collect awesome Disney collectibles. Then Amiibo happened. I like Amiibo, but it's not the best. Now the question, out of the 4 franchises, if you could only own the figures from one franchise, which would you pick and why? Thanks. Have a magical day. P.S. Glad to hear you are feeling better, Jason.
Thank you, sir. So just out of the Toys of Life franchises?
Lego Dimensions, Amiibo, Disney Infinity, and Skylanders.
Ooh. Because part of me wants to say Disney Infinity, because I love Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me will say Lego Dimensions, because they're the most useful, because you can use them as your Lego figures as well. Nintendo's great, because you're getting a lot of, not merchandise characters now merchandised.
Sure.
But, I mean, just personally, on my level, to the day I die, Disney's the biggest portion of my heart. So, gotta go with Disney Infinity on that aspect of it all.
Nice. For me, it would be Amiibo. I mean, like you said, up until Amiibo, there just wasn't very much Nintendo merchandise, especially of the characters, the secondary characters, not the main Mario and Luigi. This has been the best thing for Nintendo fans. Their lack of use in game has definitely made them more of a collection thing than a necessity for gameplay. But I mean, I've been a Nintendo fan my entire life, and these are all, characters and games that I have loved and adored my entire life, and now I can have physical representations of them. For me personally, I could go to the Disney store and I could get merch with all types of different. I mean, because we have Tsum Tsums also.
Right.
So all these Disney Infinity characters that we have sitting on shelves, we have plushie versions of Tsum Tsums. So, because that's not factored into the equation, I feel comfortable in X-naying Disney Infinity figures out of the bunch. They would be my second choice, though, because they just look so good. But Amiibo it is for me. And all the saltiness that comes with it. Guadalupe sent in an email as well.
Ooh.
Said, I was going to ask what Jason thought the new Pokemon Direct was going to be about, but leaks pretty much ruined my question. Also, we covered it earlier, so don't worry, Guadalupe. So my new question is, how do you think the new Pokemon games will utilize Amiibo? And do you think there'll be physical figures in that expensive Pokemon Amiibo line that will include 1 billion Amiibo cards? Thanks. P.S. Jason, I know you want the new generation to start the NX, but here are a couple release dates to show you that the Pokemon Company does whatever they want. Pokemon Black and White for the Nintendo DS came out March 6, 2011. Then it came out on the 3DS March 27th, 2011. And then Pokemon Black and White 2 for the DS came out October 7th, 2012. So, yes, Pokemon Company does do whatever they want. They have shown that from pretty much day one. But definitely still want them to launch with the NX because I think Nintendo needs them to.
Yeah.
But do you think we'll have Amiibo compatibility in whatever this new game possibly might be?
I don't necessarily think so, to be honest. I mean, it's definitely a chance. They could definitely do some kind of prize. There's definitely, they have that kind of daily, stop where you go to the different stations in some of the games and you can walk in, talk to somebody, you get one item each day. So there's definitely a chance. Yeah. They don't necessarily have to.
Right.
So if they do it, I think they'll do it with just probably the Pokemon ones. I don't think they're going to go crazy and put Mega Man in it or other weird stuff. You know what I mean? Right. I think they'll probably try to keep it. I mean, Pokemon Company doesn't. They have nothing to gain, nothing to lose with it. So
right.
They could definitely do in there. Obviously, if they do some kind of crazy Pokemon card or something like that with it, then sky's the limit with it. But as people say all the time, some people say the Pokemon games are just the same thing rehashed every single year, but they're not. There's definitely a lot of new stuff in it each time. So in Game Freak we trust. I could see it going either way, and I would not care either way. It's Amiibo Sports in it, great. If not, who cares?
Yeah, they could do something tap a Charizard and you get a rare candy or something, or one of the different balls, or they could do all kinds of little things that don't really affect the game too much, but still kind of reward players for the Amiibo. But like you said, they have nothing to gain or lose from it. They kept the Amiibo out of Super Mario Maker because they're just no, we don't want you to use our Pokemon in this game. And then they finally, did a 360 on that, and
that was crazy.
Yeah, but so they they've kept the amiibo functionality of the Pokemon out of other games before, so they don't necessarily need to add it to their game.
Right.
But it kind of feels like they have the right to do so if they want, and they could do whatever they want with them. So it's interesting to say the least, and maybe we learn something about that tomorrow. We'll find out.
We'll find out. People kept saying no because they're not going to announce a game before they announce the system. First of all, that's false. There's multiple games that gets announced before a system officially gets announced, so it's not out of the realm of possibilities. They don't have to show anything; they can still announce it.
Sure. Next email. This is from DMU Girl 2008. She says, "Hey guys, hope you are feeling better, Jason. Here are this week's rapid fire questions. Disney Infinity. What do you guys think of us getting a dragon from the new live-action Pete's Dragon movie?"
That'd be freaking sweet.
God, that would be amazing. God, that'd be so cool.
Dude, make it Yarn Yoshi style. Make it a huge one. But yeah, no, it'd be awesome.
Fuzzy and everything.
Somebody said about what's Disney's obsession recently with Cloud Boys with this with Pete's Dragon, Jungle Book, The Good Dinosaur. What was the other? I think there was a fourth one that came out recently with like a young boy wearing something. But it's funny that there's so many movies out right now from Disney.
Just kind of look all the same.
Yeah.
Will Twitter actually break down if Disney doesn't at least announce the leaked figures in the Disney Next?
Oh gosh. I'll close up shop. Turn off Twitter for the day. I'll be if Disney if they don't announce the 8 things we talked about earlier, it's gonna be GIF City on my Twitter account. GIF City.
I think we just spent all day just announcing it for him.
Yeah. Forget it, Disney.
Lego Dimensions. She had amiibo questions, but we've already covered them on this show already, so I'll skip those. Over to Lego Dimensions. Do you think Lego will wait until after the last wave to announce anything new?
Yes.
How many hours do you think you've put into Lego Dimensions so far?
Ooh, man. That's hard to say. I put a lot in it, though.
Yeah. I'm probably 30, 35, I think.
That's it. That's about fair.
Yeah. You get lost in those adventure worlds. I keep saying that, but you just start running around and a couple hours go by and you're like, I didn't do anything.
I get lost listening to the music.
Yep. Next email. This is from Long's Toys, Christopher Long. You can find him on Twitter at CLong83. Says, "Hey guys, glad Jason is feeling better. We missed you at Nintendo New York on Saturday. Wanted to know what you think the announcement will be for the Pokemon Direct tomorrow morning." Wait, we already talked about that. I should pre-screen these. I should definitely do it. He says, "I personally think it will be an announcement of Pokemon Amiibo cards for Pokken Tournament, since that comes out in a few weeks."
Wonderfully timed.
Yeah.
Since it's the day before, I mean, there's just got to be something. There's got to be something that's like, holy crap, you know?
Mm-hmm. Something big. He says, "Have you guys been getting any merchandise for the 20th anniversary?"
I haven't, to be honest. I bought the new Pokemon Mew box that came with the new cards.
Okay.
But that's the only thing I've really bought so far. Because I love plushes, but I have so many that there's just nothing to do with them. So I haven't bought any of those.
I kind of want to get into the cards, but I just feel like since I'm starting at 0, like it would be super overwhelming at this point.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like it's just another thing I would be getting into that I really probably shouldn't. So
they're so fun.
Yeah, I know. And then watching Jason and Lauren open that pack with that.
That was ridiculous how they got those 2 cards.
Just watching that, I'm like, I need that feeling. I need that feeling right now. Hopefully, Battlecast will satisfy that. That itch.
Yep.
And I feel okay about that because I'll be starting at the same point as everybody else. So.
Right.
We'll see. Last email. This is from Jeff Grimes. Writes in and says, "Jason, when can we expect an unboxing video of all those awesome Lightcore Hex figures you received last week? It would be hilarious."
I have plans for them, so you might not see them for a little bit yet.
Plans, huh?
Plans.
Are they being returned?
Returned instead of paid postage later.
Oh man, for those that don't know, I sent you a box of Lycor Hex Skylander figures. Took advantage of the buy one get two free deal, 99-cent special. So, the lady at register was very confused why I was buying so many of one figure, and I was like, "Do you really want to be asking me this question? Because I could put them back, and you could watch them rot on your shelf if you'd like, or you could let me walk out with these, and we don't have to talk about it." So,
like I said, it's like I had no voice or anything like that, and I was feeling sick for it all, and because I wish I could have Periscope, but it was going to be killing me not to open the package,
right?
And so I opened it up, and it was perfect. I'm like, because I've been expecting the package that has the nitro soda skimmer in it, and so I got it, and I'm like, there's obviously more than that. I see this interaction thing, so you can tell even by your wrapping that it's like Skylanders figures, and I'm like, what in the world? There's no way he bought he got Chase variants, and I was like, where could he it literally was the farthest thing from my mind, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess we'll open it up. And I'm like Hex. I'm like, God dang it, Josh.
How many did it take before you're just like, all of these are?
After the second one,
okay.
I was like, watch him not even actually watch him post date the nitro soda skimmer and not put it in the box. Like he mailed that 2 days later, so it would come at a later time. That's what I was waiting for.
Oh, it was so fun. Everything was individually wrapped. It was fantastic. There's some Oregon swag in there.
Yeah.
I persuade you to come out to the Northwest one of these days, but the light core hex was the coup de grace. It was so ridiculous. I'm telling you, just buying those things just felt dirty.
I bet.
Yeah, it was tough. And I keep thinking, I'm like, there has to be good use for these. There has to be. And it sounds like you may have something, so I'm excited. So
yeah.
We'll see. But that pretty much wraps up this podcast. You are losing your voice. You are coughing. You are doing your very best not to die live on air, and I appreciate that. Valerie is sick. Her 3 kids are either getting completely over sickness, fighting off sickness, or recovering from sickness at this point. So I am the last standing person in this house right now to not be sick, and it is everything I could possibly do to avoid it. And I keep podcasting with people that are sick, so I don't know how that works, but I feel like it's surrounding me and engulfing me. But knock on wood, nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
So, I think it's time that we wrap up this podcast. It's been long enough. It's been a good run. Episode 60 is in the books. We'll move on to 61 next week. Next week, if everything goes according to plan, probably going to have a collector's edition. A lot of things to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Increasingly amount of things to talk about. It's crazy how this happens. So Jason, please tell the listening audience, for anybody new out there that may be listening to us for the first time, where they could find you and your collective websites and Twitter handles.
Yeah, you can personally follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/JasonInquires, and then obviously at all the Toys to Life centric accounts of BrickInquirer.com, SkylandersInquirer.com, and InfinityInquirer.com. There's also obviously YouTube and Instagram, both of Jason Inquires as well.
Nice. Personally, you can find me on Twitter at the noise with the Y. Then follow the show on Twitter at Toys for Games. Email us podcast@toysforgames.com. Check out the website toysforgames.com. YouTube, Instagram is all Toys for Games. Just use the Toys for Games name, all one word, and you'll find everything that we do everywhere. Most likely. Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Toys for Games, of course. Let's see. Patreon, you could help us and support us over on Patreon, patreon.com/Toys for Games. Starting next week, Jason, we have a boss.
That's crazy.
We have somebody that we have to report to for this podcast. I don't know what to make of it. Hopefully, corporate bigwigs don't come in and change the show as we know it, but things could happen.
Things could happen.
Money talks, folks. And so be it. So next week, episode 61 is the dawn of a new day, and we'll see where that goes from there. Also, quickly, need to remind you guys, if you like video games and you like more than just the toys to life, check out the Joys of Games podcast that Colin and myself do every week. It's a lot of fun. They're shorter episodes. We don't chew the fat as much. We have a lot of fun doing that, and we try to make a unique and different gaming podcast than all the other ones that you're used to. So we'd appreciate if you guys check that out as well, and help us just grow this entire community of things that we all have bubbling up, and try to provide as much entertainment as possible for everybody. This has been an episode. I appreciate everybody for listening. I appreciate all of your supports every day. Also, if you're not using the strawberry emoji when you tweet us, get on that, because it's been the best thing I've discovered on Twitter in a long, long time. So fun. Hashtag blind bags suck.
Hashtag team blind bags. Hashtag guess the horse.
I love you.
You know guys. I'm right. You know I'm right.
Do I?
Yep.
Until, what's that word, Jason?
Next time.
Next time. Happy hunting, collectors.
Did we do Alex's email?
Who?